Welcome to part 2 of our video series on the Disney Fantasy 7-day Eastern Caribbean cruise.
In today's video, we will talk about wheelchair accessibility at Cabanas, show you options for handling laundry on the ship, and talk about the absolute worst meal we've ever had at sea.
Hello guys, this is Adam and Brooke from ImaginaryLemons.com.
So we decided to sleep in today because so far we've had a pretty busy trip and it's only day 2 of the cruise. So we decided to get coffee and pastries from room service. They had gluten-free donuts and muffins as well as a slew of things that were regular. And so we got some muffins and some coffee and had it out on the balcony, and that was fantastic and just very relaxing. And now we're gonna go explore the ship.
It was lunchtime, so we decided to check out the casual dining options on the ship. So we headed to deck 11, where you will find all of the quick service dining.
Before getting lunch, we took a quick stroll through Sweet on You, Minnie's treat shop on the Disney Fantasy. The food here is an extra cost, and they offer handcrafted gelato and ice cream with lots of toppings, as well as milkshakes, chocolates, candies, and gluten-free macarons. We planned to come back here and buy something, but with all of the included options on the ship, we never did make our way back here.
Deck 11 has a coffee shop and some outdoor dining options that we will talk about in one of our next videos. But today, we're going to head to Cabanas and check out the buffet. In Cabanas, it's a little bit hard to get around. This is the buffet in the Fantasy, which we are right now. Some people are like blocking the aisles, but they move out the way once they know you're trying to get past. But you need to be more conscious of how you navigate when you do trying to get around.
Yesterday, we also came to Cabanas, and I just sort of took a little bit of a risk and picked some things that seemed like they would likely not have gluten in it, but I didn't specifically, see the mark, because nothing's marked. But I can tolerate small amounts of gluten, so I would be okay. But today I wanted to see what would happen if I told them I couldn't have any gluten, what they would do. The manager walked me around the buffet and asked me what I was interested in. So they mentioned they can do gluten-free pizza. They also mentioned gluten-free chicken nuggets. In addition, if there are things that don't normally have gluten in them that are on the menu, they will prepare them in a separate part of the kitchen to avoid cross-contamination. I just wanted something simple, so I asked them if they could just do a salad and put some roast beef on it. And then I also asked for sushi, which has soy sauce, and soy sauce does have gluten in it, so they're going to give me that as well.
Accessibility was fairly good. Certain things or some things I could not reach. For some reason they had the utensils further back from where the plates were, which was odd. They weren't like right beside the plates, they were like further back, and I could not reach those. So someone had to reach those for me. I could get soda and juice fairly easy with one hand. Getting ice from the drink station here requires like 2 hands, one to hold the cup or set the cup down, and one to push the button, which is a little bit hard to do.
At Disney, there is no additional charge for soda, unlike your Royal Caribbeans and your Carnivals where you have to have a soda package. So they have Coke products over there. They also had a vitamin water option over there, and they have some Minute Maid juices. There's what looks like a pink lemonade and an apple. Coffee, tea is also available.
So they're very helpful up here. They're very helpful to help you get your things, what you need to do, bring it to your table, and they can get everything set up for you. On the Fantasy Disney ship that we're on right now, they do have a dedicated laundry room that is accessible. And so, as you see, there is no lip on the floor, which is great good for coming in. We are on deck 5, and as you see, it's pretty large. Also, the ironing board is lower than it was in the other laundry facility that I went in on the deck 8. Some of the things like the sink is also lower, and so there is good. We have several laundry and washing machines, all lower of course. But I think they're the same size as the other one, if I recall. It's See there, and the dryer is also lower on this side too. So you can do your laundry if you decide to do it. Using the laundry facility is pretty straightforward. You may want to plan ahead. At certain times the laundry facility is busy. The best time to come is during the early morning, in the middle of port days, when everyone else is off the ship, and the day before formal night. Using the laundry facility, you have to buy tokens, which you will use to both wash and dry your clothes. Because you have to use your stateroom card, you will get notified in the app when your laundry is done. A little pro tip, you can pack less clothes if you plan to wash on your trip. This way you can pack less and have more room for souvenirs.
Tonight we are at Animators Palate for night 2 of the cruise. The theme is animation, and so we are surrounded by lots of screens that are showing scenes themed after Finding Nemo and Turtle Talk with Crush. So if you've ever done Turtle Talk with Crush at the parks where he interacts with kids, this is the same thing but at dinner.
Oh, what a beautiful boat.
For my appetizer, I got the salmon tartare. That was pretty good. That was really good. If I could get that as a entree, I would get it as an entree, but it's only for an appetizer, so I could get. So, but yeah, the salmon tartare at Animators Palate is really good. This is my soup portion. The butternut squash soup is pretty good. I don't know, I haven't had butternut squash soup in a while, but from what I recall, it's pretty good. It has a little bit of cream on it, which is nice, but overall, pretty nice dish.
I'm less impressed with the options from Animators Palate so far. I'm sticking with their gluten-free options, and there weren't a ton of things on the menu. For the appetizer, the only option was the salmon tartare. I'm not a huge fan of the raw salmon, so it was okay. Adam really liked it, so if you like salmon tartare, it is for you. I just am not a fan, generally speaking. And then for the soup and salad course, there is a soup that was an option that was gluten-free, but it had bacon in it, and I don't eat pork, so that wasn't an option for me. And then so instead I ended up with an arugula salad with beets and I think some sort of citrus. I'm gonna go with oranges. It's okay, nothing to write home about. And then my entree, the only option was the lemon chicken, so we'll see how that goes. But something tells me this is not going to be my favorite restaurant of the rotations.
We just came back from Animators Palate, and tonight's overall dinner wasn't great. When I got my main course, it just was not something. And I guess it was just overdone. It was overdone. And
it was really hard to cut. I had to cut it. Normally he can cut his own meat. There was a day when he couldn't do that, and I had to feed him. But he can at home. He can.
Right now where I can grab the knife and grab the fork, and I can. But the
not
knives.
This. For me, the only entree option that I was presented with was the lemon chicken. It was dry. It was not good.
Yeah, it wasn't a very. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
So we left after that. So we didn't stay for dessert. Neither of us finished our entrees. I don't normally, walk out of a place like that. But I told them I wasn't feeling well because I don't like confrontation. I didn't want to tell them the food was gross. So I just was like, oh yeah, the boat's shaking, which is a little true. My stomach was bothering me, and the food was bad, and the atmosphere. So there's a lot of things on this ship that are geared to families or all ages, and there's plenty of things for adults. This dining experience was not that. This dining experience was set up for a select number of children. And I think there was like an inequity. And I know this is like really weird to bring an equity conversation into a Disney dining review, but like, so if you were seated on the outsides, then you were right next to the big screens with Crush, and he was interacting with you, and he was asking questions, and you were responding, and all of that. If you were a kid that happened to be at my table, you would have gotten none of that. And I'm sure they try to put kids at those tables and adults in the middle. But it was just, like, even if half the restaurant was that, if the other half was less Crush talking, but like, I kept having to hear Crush talking over and over again. It got really boring and really like just monotonous, and like I was over Crush to these selected children. And certainly not every child is able to sit in one of those special tables. So that means there's a whole bunch of children who are being left out. And that just bothered me, the way that that's set up. Like, it just, like, why are you introducing inequities into a dining experience? It's weird. It's weird, and I didn't like it. And it just felt like I was eating in a fancy kids' cafeteria, and the food was bad.
So maybe your experience will be better or
I
different.
hope so.
Just for tonight for us from Animators Palate, just didn't go very well at all.
Nope.
So we're gonna probably order some room service dessert, maybe some cookies, some gluten-free cookies, and should I get a Mickey bar?
You could get a Mickey bar.
Okay.
I mean, Mickey bars taste better when they're free. And since it's not gonna cost you extra, I'd say go for it. And I'm gonna get myself some decaf Earl Grey, and yeah.
Call it a night.
So that was our evening. I will say that outside of the terrible experience at Animators Palate, it was a nice day. We enjoyed just hanging out on the ship. Oh, and we saw Aladdin. We went and saw, so they have Broadway quality shows, and like, they actually mean it. I mean, they had pyro, they had special effects, they had, there were some screens involved, but they did it really well. Like,
it was pretty funny. Genie was pretty funny. Genie had like a bunch of good jokes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of IP in there, where basically they're throwing IP jokes in there about either going to the parks or.
So Aladdin was fantastic. Definitely do the shows. Definitely do the shows. There's two more. There's a Frozen one. I don't even like Frozen all that much. I'm going. And then there is a Disney Believe or something. I think it's like their farewell show. At least I assume such, because it is on the last day. So, but that was exciting and a really great day. And we're going to go get some room service to get rid of, to make up for the cruddy dinner. So, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.